Okay, your lab. Hopefully you'll all be happy because we're going to start doing part of this today, and hopefully that'll help you all out a lot. So we're going to practice constructing a hash table with chaining, implement a hash table whose constructor takes an integer, the initial size of the hash table, and then implement insert, remove, and get. If the value is not found in the hash table, return a value with the default constructor. Also, you can use your previous code, or you can just use the STL, depending on which way you want to do it. All right. Now, first thing you should notice that's different is now we are templating on 2 classes instead of just 1. Because your key is going to be 1 class, and that's going to map to some value. So there's 2 different types associated with your hash map. Obviously, create the initial size. You're going to need to destruct your hash map when you're done. Be able to insert so that you're going to put a key and associate with a value. I put a print so just to help you out if you wish to print out your hash table. You want to remove. Notice that remove just takes a key, it doesn't take the value, but once you remove it, it should remove it from the hash table. And then lastly, retrieve the val that comes to. So when you operator subscript, you return something. All right.
What's with the int hash code?
With the, wait, which one?
Those 2, right there.
Right here. So I was about ready to talk about that. Okay. We need to be able to compute the hash code or the hash function. So you do need to put in or implement 2 functions for me. One that takes an integer, a key integer, and returns a hash code from it. And then you want to implement another one that takes a string and returns an integer from it. That's going to be your job to implement as well. Hopefully during insert, we'll at least start writing a little bit of insert to help you out on why that's the case. Okay, we're going to do some of this in class. Write your test cases. STL, you may use vector, Q, DQ, and list from the STL. This may actually, I do recommend using the STL to get not only get experience with it, but also you know that it works, as opposed to possibly other code that you may have been utilizing. If you use something from the STL beyond those, or you use a different library, it'll be an automatic 0 for this lab, because map is implemented in the STL. Don't use that. All right, due a week from today. Any questions before we get started on coding?
What is the difference between key and val?
So you're mapping the key to a value. So if you had a hash table from an integer to a string, you are mapping integers to a string. Or if you had a hash table from an integer to a student object, you're mapping maybe the student ID to a student object. Maybe it'll make more sense when we start using it. So let's go ahead and get with the coding. All right, where are we? Source. Let's see if we can make something. Oh, perfect. So vim source hashtable.hpp. Wow, I already have the code in here.